What up, your boy MC Shadow? Now, what I wanted to talk about today, but before we get into it, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, check out the playlist. The playlist on top, where I have everything, under uh, playlist, like all the videos, makes it easier, to find the video that you're looking for. It's to the person that is always like, hey man, why you always wearing the same black shirt and everything? It's because I do the videos when I'm at work. So it's part of the uniform. You know what I mean? We have uniform in my jale, so that's why it's always the black shirt. You know what I mean? Or like, hey man, it looks like you just got done eating, and I do them when I'm on my lunch break. So you know what I mean? That's why we just get done eating and the black shirt. What you want? You know what I'm saying? Anywho, because when I get out of work, I like to be like, whether I'm chilling with the camaradas or with the fam, you know what I mean. So I'm not like on my phone and shit like that, you know what I mean. You already know when you're chilling with camaradas, there's no phones, and when you with the family, there shouldn't be no phones. At least that's how it should be. But anywho, let's get into it. Now, what I want to talk about was tag bangers. You know what I mean? Let's talk about them tag bangers. Now, because the reason I want to talk about this is because I see it a lot on the comments when we chopping it up right there. A lot of people refer to tag bangers like if it's weak, like if they're weak. You know what I mean? Which I don't understand that. Like tag bangers are not pussies. Tag bangers are not weenies. Tag bangers are none of that. Tag bangers are just as witted as homeboys. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why I'm bringing this up. A lot of homeboys, a lot of camaradas were taggers before they were homeboys from the hood. So, were they bitches? They used to be bitches? Go tell them that they're bitches. Or a lot of clicas from barrios were tagging crews before. That whatever. So go tell all of them that they bitches and that they weenies and all that. You know what I mean? A lot of solid homeboys that are in there that are big camaradas. Were taggers before, or tag bangers, or their clique tag bangers, whatever. Go tell them that they bitches and they weenies and all that. You know what I mean? Don't ever get it twisted, homie. Like I said, like a lot of people when they talk right here, they talk going based off of like I don't know if it's movies or just if they really never kicked it in the hood with homeboys and shit like that. Like when they say stuff like that, it makes me wonder if they really were in the hood and actually doing hood shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you in the hood and you out there, you riding with real homeboys, and if you been busted and if you actually doing shit with your camarada, you know damn well that these fools ain't no fucking pussies or bitches or none of that. You know what I mean? If anything, that's pride amongst anything else talking. You know what I mean? Like especially when neighborhoods beefing with some tagging crews and it's like these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But most neighborhoods, were said that, for example, like Cam was, like TMC was, like JBI was, like TIK, like like neighborhoods like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that they with it. You know what I'm saying? Or like clicas from my barrio, like the TMKers, or like the CDKs from Wifins, or you know what I mean. But I could go on and go on, but that's what I mean though. Like they're not weenies, you know what I mean? So to even say that is ridiculous. Now, what you could say in an argument is like when fools are talking about, like, let's say we're only talking about barrios, and let's say if that barrio is not a barrio, it's a crew. You know what I mean? But in a sense, it's not like if it's an insult, but right here, like I do in the G series, we're talking about barrios here. We're not talking about crews. You know what I mean? Like they haven't earned the right to be a hood. You know what I mean? Like that's just a crew. We're talking about it like that. You know what I mean? Or if they're in the process, we can't even confirm it yet because we're talking about barrios. But that is no insult. It's not taking a shot at nobody. But I guess some people take it like if that's what I'm trying to do when it's not, you know what I mean? Because like I said, there's a lot of tag banging sets out there that do got them riders, and like I said, that's just like that's like the juvenile hall. That's a juvenile hall before they reach the big boy area. Now, So it's kind of like saying like, oh, it's not like saying like, oh, everybody that was in juvenile hall is a bitch, or anyone that's in juvenile hall is a bitch. They're not as with it as over here. Like, nah, they're just in the minor leagues, but they, you know what I mean. That doesn't mean that they weenies or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like homies that are upstate, whatever, went through juvie, so you know what I mean. It's like saying like, oh, well, most homeboys were integral for their homeboys. So come on now, you know what I mean? Like that. Now, here's another thing I'm gonna say. And another topic I wanted to talk about right here. And I think that this has to do with, like, to the reaction that I did to the Little Rob and Little King Little G disc or whatever. You know what I mean? When homies are like, oh, well, Little Rob, a weenie, because he raps some oldies, and like a weenie, like, dog. That already lets me know that you must have never been around your older homeboys or OGs from your barrio. Because if you know older homeboys, dog, they hear oldies, homie. They hear them love rolas. When they were gangbanging to like the Temptations, the fucking Brennan Wood, Billy Stewart, the Barbara Mason, Mary Wells, to that. You know what I mean? Like that was their shit, homie. Like, so those rolas those rolas don't make you like whack or weenie or a bitch. Like, oh, that's some lovey-dovey shit or whatever. Like, dog, that's what the real solid homeboys, bump, dog. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, that already lets me know you were never around your older homies or never soaked up no clecha or none of that, homie. You know what I mean? Like you lost a part of your culture right there. To think that music makes you soft or weenie or a bitch is fucking stupid. And that's what I bump, homie. And trust me, ain't no soft in me, homie. So, to be saying like, oh, that kind of shit is like soft or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, understand one thing too. It's like saying, it goes for like both ways, right? It's kind of like saying like, oh, I don't bump no negros, only Chicano rap, but like your older homies were bumping that, dog. But now, here's one thing though. They were bumping them gente, but that gente never mold them into to try to dress like their culture or talk like in their culture. They bumped those rolas, but they still were them like how they are. You know what I mean? Like their Chicano culture. You know what I mean? And they never, went in and did all the rest of the stuff like these morros are doing. Like, see, because music doesn't make people do things, but it does influence people's way of talking and dressing and slang. It does. You can say it doesn't, but it really does. You know what I mean? Hence what causes trends and words like thoughts and fire and what are the ones that they use nowadays? When they go woo or whatever, you know what I mean? It does influence, why people say ratchet, or even why they even say like slut or hoe or tramp or whatever the fuck. You get what I'm saying? It does create influence. You know what I mean? It don't force people to do shit like that they ain't supposed to, but it does influence. But like I said, the homies were bumping, because African Americans were the ones that sang all the oldies, but it never had them dressing like them or did anything else. So homies bumped their rolas, but we're not following their culture, stick to their culture. Nowadays they bump their rolas, but then they follow everything else that they do. That's no taking shots at the African Americans or none of that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you all claim to be leaders, yet in reality you followers. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. This is my opinion on that. Because homies were bumping, African Americans. Not like they were bumping Chicano rap. They were not. Everybody that they were bumping were, African Americans. But yeah, they were still with their Chicano culture, homie. So homies were not no followers back then. Let me tell you that much. I'm just saying. You see the difference. But that don't make you soft just bumping that. See, I think that people are so worried about trying to be hard, so they're like, nah, I shouldn't hear this because this is like some lovey, like some hyena type shit. So nah, homie, they're gonna call me weak. And like I said, homie, look, the reason I could be goofy, loud, and not care on my videos and everything like that, like what people think or what I do or whatever, man. Like shit, I'll cough, pick my nose, burp, fucking they could say like, oh, your pussy ass voice or whatever. Like, I don't care, dog. The reason I don't care is because I know who I am. My homeboys and homeboys from the streets know who I am. You know what I mean? So for people to be on here and be like, ah, oh, this fool ain't with it, or he a bitch, or he ain't really with it. Trust me, dog. It does not. It bounces right out, homie. Like, I don't care, dog, because I know who I am, dog. I know what I'm about, and the people that I interact with on a day-to-day know what I'm about. You know, like whether it's my homies from Wyfen's V&E, from Headhunters, from Bassett, from Florence, from 38, from from all kinds of different neighborhoods, from my barrio. You know, like gente, dog. My homies know who I am, dog, and what I'm about. You know, I'm not here to glorify or to brag or to try to make myself seem chingon or none of that, because all of that shit's irrelevant. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that I know who I am, so when whatever they think right here is, I don't care, dog. I don't care. Whatever people, out there, like, could be thinking, I don't give a fuck, dog. Because I know what I'm about, dog. You know what I mean? But when people are worried, what gente might think about you or critique from you, for you to be so alert and so jumpy about it, it's kind of like, why, homie? Like, do you think you soft? Do you have something that happened that where you think that you saw and you don't want people finding out? You know what I mean? Is that what you're worried about? You know what I mean? So you just kind of like always got to be in defense mode. That way people don't go in dig because you're scared what they might find. You know what I mean? So I ain't never got to worry about shit, dog. They can dig all they want. They ain't gonna find nothing. But other people are so worried that oh, look, that was odd. Let me start digging, and then bam, dog, you end up finding shit. You know what I mean? So you should never give a fuck about what anybody thinks on me. Like, if you know that you ain't soft, or you know that you ain't into this and that, then dog, everything else is irrelevant. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? About these few subjects right there, about the soft thing or about the culture, music being the influence, and you know what I mean, about the taggbanging shit, because there's three of the things that I see a lot being talked about in the comments. So I just want to talk about and give my opinions on that. So a little quick one, you know what I mean? And shadow, we out.